I've been checking out some Neil deGrasse Tyson where he was having conversations with Bill Maher. He had a conversation with Patrick Bet-David on valuetainment. He's had his own, he's had conversations. Did he have conversations with Joe Rogan, I believe? And it's some things that I stand with him on and some things I do not. He's a different thinker, very, very extremely intelligent, but because of his research and intelligence, sometimes it seems his way of thinking is, I don't know, I question it, but I'm like, how can you question this brother and he's this talented and this educated? So sometimes I just shut my ass up. But I see a Thomas Sowell video of him talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson will destroy America.
Intellectuals on issues ranging across the spectrum, from housing policies to laws governing organ transplants, have sought to have decision-making discretion taken from those directly involved who have personal knowledge and a personal stake and transferred to third parties who have neither and who pay no price for being wrong. Close quote. So again, this counter common sense, you know what's best for your health, therefore we must make the decision in a bureaucracy in Washington.
That's right.
How?
Well, if you've been told all your life, and many of these people have, from an early age, they were in the class for bright, gifted children. They were the ones who got into the good high schools. They were the ones who were accepted in colleges that accept less than 10% of the applicants. They've heard this all through their lives. And after a while, they must, in all due modesty, believe it.
All right.
It's here, we pride ourselves on what we call freedom, okay? We're free. And part of that free, we live in a country where there are entire states where if you ride a motorcycle, you don't have to wear a helmet.
Right.
Okay? That's how free we are, or at least we tell ourselves we are. Here's the difference. If you don't wear a helmet and you're in an accident, you're more likely to die and become an organ donor, but you're not putting anyone else's freedoms at risk by doing so.
Right.
So that's a pure expression of your freedom,
Right.
taking your own life at risk as a functioning, rational adult.
Right.
Okay? All right. If you now express your freedoms but put other people's freedoms at risk, that's a no-no. And so I think so many Americans were confused about them wearing a mask, not realizing that's not only to prevent you from getting sick, it's to prevent you from making other people sick.
Right.
Okay, but he's speaking matter-of-factly, like, and man, I pray that this doesn't get me in trouble. But he's speaking as if the people are walking around wearing masks that are actually protecting them. Most of the people walking around wearing masks weren't wearing the correct mask at all. They had masks on, but it wasn't protecting them at all. As a matter of fact, it was making it worse for them. It really was. But but I really can't speak on that too much because I don't know about that. But that's not the case at all. I mean, I understand how he's trying to tie it together, but that don't make sense to me. I don't buy that at all.
Right.
Yeah. All right. If you don't know that you have it. And that's where people didn't fully recognize and understand what it means to live in a free country. I mean, you can do what you want, provided you don't subtract from someone else's freedoms. Mm-hmm. And wearing a mask creates the situation where you're not subtracting from someone else's freedom, especially old people who could die from that.
Right.
But I think we're so selfish, though, that we only care about us.
Even if they're told. There are people who did that even when they were told. And people didn't want to believe it was real, all the conspiracy people. So I'm saddened as an educator that we have people in the most advanced country the world has ever seen, the wealthiest country the world has ever seen, and we have whole communities among us who are sure Earth is flat, that vaccines are bad, that the virus is an invention by the Chinese or whomever. This is disturbing. And I don't know that we have the wisdom to take ourselves deep into the 21st century.
If they had some sense of the loss of freedom, which is infinitely more important than any of the specific issues.
Wow. You see how they tied together? They had Neil deGrasse Tyson speaking against freedoms, and he tried to draw a parallel to mask mandates. Okay, I'm lost like hell because I hear what Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying. I don't agree with what he's saying. If you want to ride a bike with your helmet off, then ride a bike with your helmet off. But if my helmet affects you, then I'm not going to ride my bike with my helmet off. So why am I not going to wear a mask if I know it affects other people? Well, you don't know. You're guessing. First of all, you're guessing. But again, he is a scientist. So this is one of them type of things where, and yeah, I question everybody. I do. But it's one of them type of things where when I'm questioning certain people whose whole life is considered, I mean, it's research. It make you fall back a little bit. Be like, okay, you know what? I'll wait until somebody who hasn't proven to be such a genius to say something like that, the same exact thing you're saying, and I'll test them on it. But I'm just being 100 with you. I don't feel comfortable checking someone who is such a whiz at certain things about that
by themselves. That is, Obamacare really is a huge step.
Okay, restricting people's freedoms to murder increases your freedom to have a life. All right, I understand that. Okay, I think I get what you're saying.
Towards the loss of freedom. I mean, and it happens in small ways, but constantly. I mean, we can't have the light bulb that we want in our own home. We can't flush the toilet with the kind of toilet we want. We can't take a shower with the kind of shower head we want.
You can't have gas stoves anymore. Gas stoves are up out of here. They up out of here, bro. They're gone.
We can't put our garbage out except and broken down by the way that some little Gauleiters have decided that we ought to do it. I mean it's just the accretion of these things, many of which are too small to be significant in themselves. But in the aggregate, you can see the tendency of this. The people who think they know better and they ought to be telling us what to do, those people are the danger. And if you don't see that, then I'm not sure what the future is going to be like.
Yep, that was definitely a shot at Neil deGrasse Tyson and other people who think the way he thinks. But guess what? Everyone does have the right and the freedom to think the way they want to think. And we have the right to debate what someone says if we don't believe what they're saying or if we don't agree with what they're saying. But freedom to have a disease. Okay, they're having a debate inside of there. So y'all let me know whatever y'all thought, man. Did Thomas Sowell, really draw that connection between people who would destroy America and Neil deGrasse Tyson? I mean, he did sound like he supported a certain side that support ridiculousness. So maybe not. That's a bit subjective, but hey, what do you think? Let me know. All right, peace.